Today, I want to talk about domestic violence and how it still impacts us today. For myself, as a child, I remember from the time I was at least 2 years old all the way up until I was a teenager, the violence my mom, my sister, and I faced as it was normal, getting the belt, getting ladders thrown at you, the name calling, the belittling, living in fear. I watched that. I remember one time our neighbor downstairs ended up calling the police because she heard my stepfather breaking every single light bulb in the house because he didn't want my mom reading. That's sad. Just because she wanted to read, all the light bulbs in the house were broken. The police came and nothing was done. I also remember, going to Children's Aid with all the abuse and, we always ended up back in the home. So living with that as a child, you think it's normal. You don't even know that it's not because that's all you've ever known until you grow up and see on the outside that no, there is, healthy relationships and things like that. But sadly, my sister would follow in the same footsteps as my mother. My sister would be in a domestic violent relationship, and 2 years before she went missing, he put her in the hospital. He broke her ribs, put her through a wall, took the baby hostage. And then when my sister was finally released about 3, 4 days later, she would approach the Crown attorney and ask the Crown to release him and that they would agree to go to therapy, but they never did. A month before my sister went missing, she had a black eye. My mom seen it. And I remember my mom calling me and saying, "What should I do? Should I call the police?" She called the police and the police went there. And in front of him, they asked my sister, "Did he do this to you?" And my sister said, "No, I walked into a hydro pole." And the police believed that, and then they left. A week before my sister went missing, she asked me to find her a family lawyer. She wanted to leave him, but he kept threatening that if she tried to leave, she would never see her kids again. And that broke my sister's heart. The night that my sister disappeared, she was last seen at a house party, and it was for a wedding party. And they were seen arguing because she was being accused of flirting with a married man, and she wasn't. And she ended up leaving, and he followed her. And that was the last time my sister was seen. And just recently, the person whose house party it was for their wedding commented, and survivor's guilt is really, really real. I lived with survivor's guilt for a long time. But this is one of the comments she left. I'll post it on the screen. And she's not responsible at all for my sister's disappearance. And I know how hard it is in your heart to carry that guilt. He would have just did it another day, another time. I'm glad that my sister's last memories before that argument was spent with you. I'm sure she had a wonderful time. So please, we need to speak about domestic violence more often because there's people or children like I who don't even know that there's something wrong. We also need to be teaching children what healthy relationships are. So thank you so much once again, spending this time with me, supporting me, liking this video, commenting, subscribing, following. I appreciate it all so very much. No more stolen sisters.